As we continue on the road to WrestleMania, WWE stopped in Las Vegas this past Thursday for the WrestleMania Kickoff Conference. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Thank God for Wrestling podcast. I'm co-host number one, CJ McClure,
Co-host number two, Johnny King.
and we're talking about the WrestleMania Kickoff Conference. And if it wasn't underway after the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season is underway now. So let's get into it. So going chronologically, starting off, we had a nice little WrestleMania intro, kind of talking about the history of the event. I feel like WWE can never go wrong with those. They always do good with those edits. Johnny, I think just the fact that they did this type of conference in an arena, at T-Mobile Arena, really just says something about where WWE's at right now as a company.
Yeah, bro. I did not know it was gonna be like it almost looked like a live event, like a WB live event, like an actual TV program. Like it was built up big, the stage set was nice. They were treating it like it was a Raw or SmackDown.
Right. I mean, I did see at one point there were like some sections that didn't have people in them, but
Mm,
I feel like that was done intentionally. It was obviously like it felt like a PLE, but it wasn't a PLE. But nonetheless, I mean, a lot of people in Vegas pulled up for this regardless. And
mhm.
this just goes to show where WWE's at right now, just how we're wrestling in general is at right now. So you love to see it. Next, you could definitely tell. And I don't know if you've been on social media and on Bleach Report looking at all the reactions, but you could definitely tell by the crowd reactions that there was mix between we want Cody, we want Rocky fans.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I feel like social media has been making it seem like no one wants Rock, but there are a group of people who do want Rock. And being in Las Vegas and hearing the crowd, you could hear the two sides of each crowd. So
100%. And I'm going to come back to this point later, but wrestling fans, for those of you that don't already know this, pro wrestling fans are probably the most toxic fan base out there.
mhm.
We are the most toxic and we are probably the most impatient. And we all think our opinions are right. We will all get mad and disagree with people right off the bat. Like, Johnny and I met on the Bleacher Report community posts on Bleacher Report, and like I see people arguing about it every day. I'll admit I've fallen victim of it too. When I realized, like, dude, like we live in a great time in wrestling. There's no point of arguing, but nonetheless, um, it's it's really cool to see Big E again. I know we haven't seen him in a while because of his neck injury. I'm really glad that he's doing much better. I would love to see him back in the ring. I mean, Johnny, like, what are your thoughts on that with Big E?
Yeah, I was surprised to see Biggie because we haven't seen him in such a long time, especially in like the wrestling environment, like on programming. I don't know if he has plans to come back. I know his doctor said like he probably shouldn't wrestle again. But I don't know what he's gonna do with that. Maybe news has changed. But yeah, it was just good to see him back and hear his voice and see that he's in good spirits.
100%. And I mean, the fan in me wants to see him wrestle again, but I mean, you know, this is hard on their bodies. A neck injury, and breaking your neck is really crucial. I mean, I would hate to see him have a worse injury. So obviously, it's up to him. This is a solid panel that they had with Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, Big E, and Punk. I actually did like the inclusion of Punk because Punk's always been a great talker. And like he said, like even though he's probably not going to make it to WrestleMania, I have a slight bit of hope just to be hopeful. But it's cool to
Mhm.
see him still being involved. And I had to talk about this and point this out. I love that he's still staying in character for like the long-term story when he goes, and Seth, when he
Mhm.
threw that dig at Seth. And I love just the pettiness of how he goes, where were all you back in 2013 when Rock pulled up?
Mhm. Mhm. And the fact that
So
he was like, I may not be able to wrestle, but I can still talk. I can still piss people off. So I thought that was good.
yeah, so Punk will never fail on the mic and just love it. You gotta love his character work, man. He will never fail at that. If he only wrestles for one more year, because this is his last chance, like we've talked about,
Hmm.
he will definitely make the most on the mic.
Yeah, for sure.
So Paul Heyman always cuts a good promo, does it again with Myron Saxton. Honestly made some pretty good points. That's all I really had to say. But Paul's always entertaining on the mic. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, man, it's always good to see Paul Heyman. He's the best at what he does, bro. That's all I have to say. He's the best at what he does. He is just a great creative mastermind, and it feels like he doesn't even have to try when he's cutting these promos. He just has it ingrained in him. He already knows what to say, how to say it, and yeah, it's always good to see Paul.
I feel like the good point that he made was that people are forgetting that this is all about Roman. This is
Mm-hmm.
all about who's gonna face Roman for the title. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, even I've kind of forgotten. Like I've been a part of the We Want Cody movement, not just because I don't want to see Rock wrestle
Yeah.
at all. It's just like how it was done. But again, we're gonna get back to that because I have a good question to end this episode on. But
Mm-hmm.
he made a good point because like I kind of completely forgot about Roman. I haven't really felt strongly about Roman one way or another. I was like, oh yeah, Roman's here. The tribal chief's still the champ. So I mean, yeah, Paul made a very good point that that's what this is about. I really loved Triple H's speech about WrestleMania, starting, going all the way back to 1985 at MSG, where Vince took
Mm-hmm.
a risk, Vince took a chance, and that was the event that kickstarted them from not being a part of a regional system anymore and being global. And I just a little bit of tangent. I watched a top 10 fact video about the first WrestleMania, and apparently Vince did bring all the talent there that day, that morning, and said, "Look, we either go big or go home today." Like
Mm-hmm.
it's as simple as that. Like Vince did put all his cards on the deck. And like from the business standpoint, obviously, if WrestleMania was not successful, we probably wouldn't be having this podcast right now.
That's
So
very true.
yes, I mean Triple H. I think I love the speech he gave. Triple H has always been good on the mic, face or heel or authority figure. It was a really good speech. But this did trigger a question for me, Johnny. Will WrestleMania 40 be the beginning of a new era? And before you answer, I have some like evidence, historical evidence to kind of prove that it will be. You go back to WrestleMania 10, way before our time, obviously. Yoko defended the WWE Championship against Lex Luger first, and then lost the title to Bret Hart that night. A lot of people say WrestleMania 10 was the kickstart of the new generation era. That was the first WrestleMania without Hulk Hogan, when
Mm.
Hogan was the draw, when Hogan was the face. And then the next generation, the leaders of that generation was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. WrestleMania 20 was the ending of that match was Chris Benoit versus Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, that main event. Benoit won the world title and closed out a really significant moment, emotional moment between Chris and Eddie. That was a part of the SmackDown 6 era, the Ruthless Aggression era. WrestleMania 30, although Daniel Bryan wasn't world champion for that long, beat Batista, really beat all of Evolution in one night, beat Triple H in
Mm-hmm.
the opening match, and then beat Batista and Randy Orton in the main event. Again, Daniel Bryan's world title reign didn't last that long because he ended up getting injured, but nonetheless, I mean, momentarily, the underdog won. An underdog that was the face of an era and face of a movement has always won every 10 WrestleManias. So I come back to my question again. Is WrestleMania 40 the start of a new era?
I think so, and I think they're building it as such. I think Triple H knows that, and I think Triple H, the direction he wants to go in, he has to do the stuff that he wants to do. Like Cody was part of his plans. Rock tried to come in and tried to change that, but he wanted to stick to it. And Rock saw what happened. That's not what the fans wanted, and I don't think Rock will give something that the fans don't want to the fans. So Triple H knows what he has to do. Cody needs to win. Cody needs to become a new face of the company, and then Roman and Rock can go tell their story. But that can be said when we talk about them. But I think it is, and I think we'll see that once Cody finishes his story. Yeah.
And not to get too ahead of ourselves, I mean, we'll get to the main event of this conference, but I mean, just like bits and pieces and shades of like every era in one in this conference and in the main event, the last segment of this conference. I mean, you got a little bit of Attitude Era, you got a little bit of the Golden Era, you got a little bit of Ruthless Aggression, you got real life, almost like real life animosity, like making it feel like UFC because people often forget now that WWE and UFC are owned by the same parent company now. So I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this definitely. I think definitely heading in the right direction. I remember reading an article that said that WWE and Triple H want to make WWE feel as real as it can be and give it more of a sports vibe. Like
Yeah.
almost make it feel like the UFC in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Give it more validity, which I am all for. I mean,
Yeah.
make it as real as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I
They
mean,
want to.
blur the lines between fiction and reality.
Yeah, for sure. They're gonna make, especially since owned by Endeavor, bro. They're gonna make WWE feel as sport like as possible, as real legitimate as possible. And to do that, they have to do things like even little things like the times we saw in the Royal Rumble, we never got those times, how long someone was in the match and stuff. Like just little things like that they're doing to make it as legitimate as possible, and it's only going to get better from here.
Exactly. So transitioning from that, Bianca Belair came out, gave her speech about what she has in store. Speech and promo was fine, but I guess that also triggers another question. Who do you want to see Bianca face at WrestleMania, Johnny? I mean, I kind of forgot that Bianca is on a streak and she has walked out of every WrestleMania she's been in as champion. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
who do you want to see her face?
I would love to see her face Jade, but I don't think Jade is there yet in terms of just like being being used to the WWE system and stuff. I think they're gonna end up doing Jade and Naya at WrestleMania. So I'm not too sure who I want Bianca to face. It would be great if Sasha Banks came back, but obviously she's with AEW. That would have been a great match. But I don't know, man. I honestly I feel like they in all honesty they could do a Jade and Bianca match, but I don't know if they want to save that until next year. Because the stare down they had between those two, I was ready for it right then. I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like they're gonna end up going Bianca and someone else. I don't know who that is yet. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, same here. I mean, I would love to see Bianca and Jade because I mean, when we talked about Jade signing back months ago, I mean, that's the dream match that I've always wanted to see, and I think that's the dream match most of the fans have wanted to see. I would
Mm,
not be opposed to seeing her challenge Rhea Ripley for the title. We'll get
mm,
to Rhea in a minute, but I wouldn't be opposed to that just because I remember last year when Rhea won the Royal Rumble and said she was going to face Charlotte, and some people were actually kind of surprised by that because they thought that she was going to face Bianca because of
mm,
like the callback back to when Bianca won the Rumble and they were the last two. But then they had a good reason for her facing Charlotte because she had lost to Charlotte previously at WrestleMania before during
mm.
COVID when she lost the NXT Women's Championship. I wouldn't be opposed to that because I think they are like some of the top two just characters in the women's division. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's neither of those two. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I mean, like, they're definitely going to put Bianca on the card one way or
Mhm.
another. Bianca's having a match at WrestleMania. I just don't know if it's going to be for a title.
Yeah. It's hard when because Bianca, the only matches she really has have been title matches. You know what I'm saying? So like with her and Becky, it's hard to put them in feuds or put them in stories that don't involve a title, which I don't think is right. But we're just WWE is so used to booking them as main event women. It's hard when they're not in a title picture. You know.
Right. But nonetheless, I think they're going to make the most of Bianca. I mean, she's a great talent. She's always been a great talent. One of the big faces of the women's division. You can't spell WrestleMania without EST. So you got to have Bianca.
For sure. For sure.
But transitioning from that, Rhea Ripley comes out, and then we have a stare down, a face off between her and Becky Lynch because Becky is going into the women's elimination chamber match. The winner of that will face Rhea Ripley. So yeah, next question: who do you want to see challenge Rhea at WrestleMania?
Hmm.
And
Bro.
mind you, we don't all not all the participants are in the elimination chamber match yet. It's only
Yeah.
Becky,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
Bianca will probably get in. Liv
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, I think, is definitely going to get in. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
only three I can think of right off the bat.
I'm gonna be honest. I think if they're not gonna do Bianca Rhea, they need to do Becky Rhea. I feel like Liv Rhea would be cool, but I think Becky Rhea is a bigger match than Liv and Rhea.
I can't argue with that. I do think Becky and Rhea can definitely make some money. There's money to be made
Yeah.
there because I think, like Becky said, I didn't realize that they've never faced each other before. So I mean, like how,
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, it's like how much bigger Rhea has just gotten as a
Yeah.
presence. Like she's honestly got like Bianca and Becky, she's got a little aura around her now with how
No,
long she's been
bro.
champion.
Definitely. I don't think they have her lose at WrestleMania, whoever she faces. I heard some people be like they might give Becky the title because she has a book that's about to release, and WWE likes to let the champions travel while they do press and stuff. But I don't know if that would be a good enough reason for WWE to take the belt off Rhea Ripley because she's just like she's at the top, bro. You can't get bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Like she's number one in the company right now. So
Yeah, and I'd be curious just to see how long they want Rhea to hold the title. I think by the time WrestleMania rolls around, she will have been champion for a year.
Mhm.
What I would not be opposed to, if they do want to go the route of her getting dethroned in WrestleMania, is have her face Liv Morgan, because Liv Morgan has already teased that she's coming after Rhea.
Mhm.
And although Liv was injured in real life and they just did this to put her off TV, Rhea, from the storyline perspective, took Liv off TV.
Mhm.
So I mean, I do think Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley would be a good match in Mania because Liv is very talented. I'm a Liv Morgan fan. Give Liv her WrestleMania moment because she hasn't had a WrestleMania moment yet.
Yeah,
Becky's
for
had
sure.
it, Bianca's had it, Rhea's had it, Liv hasn't.
Mhm. It
So
just
I'm
depends
gonna,
on if the fans are behind Liv. If the fans are behind Liv more than they are Becky, I'll go Liv. You know what I'm trying to say? It's really
yeah,
whoever has the most traction going into WrestleMania.
yeah. But like you've said before, I mean, WWE, when they tease something, whether it takes a year to do or they do it in months, they don't do like they usually don't tease something if they didn't have any intention behind it. But the
Yeah.
problem is that they've teased both now. They've
Mhm.
teased Liv and Rhea with Liv saying that I don't need the Royal Rumble to get what I want and get payback on Rhea Ripley, and they just teased Becky versus Rhea. So I don't know. It's keeping us guessing. I'm here for it. I think the women's chamber match will probably be the best women's chamber match in a while. Well, last year's was pretty good, but I think it'll top last year's.
Mhm. For sure.
So the next after that, I really did like. I never watched the first WrestleMania, but I did like the flashback that they had from the very first one because it just kind of goes to show where all this started, you know? And even then, like wrestling was even big before the WrestleMania era. Like Hulk Hogan was in his first year, like I think he just complete, yeah, he was just a little past a year when the
Mhm.
first WrestleMania rolled around and his record world title reign.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you know, wrestling still has a history before WrestleMania, of course, but it's just kind of cool to see where like Bianca said, the Super Bowl of wrestling, of pro wrestling started, and just seeing how it started, by how they incorporated how Muhammad Ali was there and Cyndi Lauper, I think was her name, was there, and how it started at MSG. Like MSG is like the home of WWE.
Mhm.
I appreciate that. That was really cool to see. And like Hulk Hogan said himself, like if the world didn't know yet, they know now after tonight.
No, literally.
So now the main event, if you will. Seth Rollins comes out. Everybody sings his song. He is a visionary. He's a revolutionary. He is Seth freaking Rollins. He wants answers. Cody announced that he made his decision on Instagram. The tribal chief comes out. His music hits. First things first, Johnny, and I know you'll agree with me on this. Roman and Seth segments always hit.
Oh, for sure. Just because the history, bro. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah.
The fact that Seth called him Big Brother, I found kind of interesting when Seth has always beaten him in most matches. Like, again, because Roman's never beaten him on the big stage. He's never beaten him at a PLE. He's only beaten him like twice on Monday Night Raw. And
Yeah.
I love the digs that they throw at each other when Seth's like, "Oh, you actually showed up for work today," and then
Mhm.
Roman said, "Yeah, and you showed up to work in your wife's shoes," and Seth's like, "Well, I'll still dance circles around you." We need Seth to do more of that, you
Nah, we
know. Which
do.
again, which get a little into it as we continue going on with this last segment, but like Seth's just standing there and letting Roman like talk down
Bro.
about him and talk down about his world title. Like both titles are prestigious, but for different reasons.
Mhm.
Seth has been the workhorse, but Roman's just got the aura because he's held it for so long. So they're both prestigious for different reasons. But like Seth has got to defend himself more. What do you think of that?
Bro, they've been making Seth just look helpless these past couple weeks, bro. Like, I don't know why, but it's like obviously they're telling Seth not to talk back, like let Roman blah, 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 blah. But like, I don't know, bro. They're just not making Seth look like a strong champion at all. I don't. That's all I got to say. Like, it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like again, love the first dig he said, like, "Oh, you actually showed up to work today," but it's like that was it. Like that's all he had to say. But
Mhm.
nonetheless, I mean, still, Roman set segments are always good. So Roman chooses The Rock. He says, if Cody's not going to make a decision, I will. I choose to face The Rock. And The Rock comes out. And this is just a quick note I put down. It really is amazing how The Rock can be a face and a heel in the span of a minute.
No, literally, it's
Like
crazy.
that, like that does just go to show how good he is and like how good his character has always been. But
Hmm.
anywho, Rock comes out, definitely a mixed reaction. we want Cody fans, Rocky fans, I mean, and the millions. Everybody says in the millions. He says it doesn't matter what they think, what's going to happen. I love, just because Rock was obviously part of the Attitude Era, one of the biggest faces in it. Um, when people are saying the what chance, I really do like it. I mean, I get why wrestlers sometimes shut it down because obviously we're not in the Attitude Era. We got to move on. Stone Cold's not coming back. We're lucky that he even came back for the match against Kevin Owens. But
Mm-hmm.
I love how Rock played into the what chance. Like as he was like, okay, like I'll give you what you want, and like and he would pause, so they'd say why. It was making the segment even better.
Mm-hmm.
And then transitioning into that, I actually did like seeing the family tree of like the whole bloodline
Yeah,
from starting
yeah.
at both of their grandfathers. And, Yoko's on there, the Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika are there. You see how Rikishi married into the family. He married Roman's aunt. I believe that's who it was. Then you see the Usos, you see Solo, you see everybody, bro. And like, it is a good reminder of just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, wrestling does have more than one royal family, but this is just by numbers the biggest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's not talking down to the Rose. That's just a fact. This is the biggest.
yeah.
So just really cool reminder that the High Chief, Peter Maivia made the blood pact with Roman's grandfather, and then the Wild Samoans, and then Yoko, and then everybody, bro. Like just going down the list, going down the family.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Johnson as well. I mean, he's technically a part of it. I mean, for those of you, I haven't seen Young Rock, but for those of you that haven't seen Young Rock, Rocky Johnson met what's Rock's mom's name again? Ata?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Rocky Johnson, who was trained by Peter Maivia, the High Chief, his future father-in-law, met
Mm-hmm.
Ata that way, and then now we got Dwayne the Rock Johnson. That was really cool. I mean, you like Dwayne said, you got to respect it. But then transitioning from that, Dwayne says that this WrestleMania match is all about blood. It's all about bond. They dab up. They almost like did what Roman and Jay did, were like this and putting their heads on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cody comes out. Cody's had enough. Like doesn't even wait for his entrance theme to hit. Just comes out. Cody has had enough, and Cody Rhodes chooses Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And Roman says, "Nope, it's too late. You waited too long. You go over there with the green clown, go fight for the loser bracket title." So again, throwing shades at Seth,
That
talking down
it's
to
just
him.
crazy how like I get it, like it's part of his character, but like how y'all want to build this title up, but and then you have Roman keep dissing it, calling the losers bracket title. That's crazy. That's so crazy.
I'm in the middle on it. I mean, like again, I stand by the fact that Seth has done what he can to make this title mean something. He had two different mindsets, right? I mean, Roman has become a part timer. He has become Brock Lesnar. Seth is either going to be here or he's not. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like, and that's not even Seth Rollins, the wrestler. That's Seth Rollins, the person.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be here or he's not. He's going to be like Triple H and Ric Flair and Bruno Sammartino defending the title wherever he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get too far off track though, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently, at least to Mark Henry, even though he's over in AEW, according to Mark Henry, I don't know how he would know this, but the reason Roman has been taking so much time off is because of his
Oh
health.
yeah, yeah. You said that. You said that.
Yeah,
I don't know how true that is. I feel like we have to do some more research, but I don't know. Sometimes Mark Henry just be saying a lot of stuff. Busted open. I don't know, but yeah, I get it will make sense. I mean,
I mean, I've never had leukemia, and I've never had
yeah,
leukemia twice. So I mean, like I could see that being legit, and if that's the
yeah.
case, then we just gotta get Roman Grace, but we don't know for sure, right?
Mm,
But Roman throws a dig at Dusty, says you're irrelevant just like your dad. He was like, all right. And I want to say Cody sold that perfectly. Like his reaction to that was perfect. The way he reacted and the way the crowd reacted was perfect timing. And Cody says, all right, you want to bring up family? You invoke my father's name. I'll do the same. Which I thought he was going to bring up Sika, because that's Roman's dad. I thought he was going to bring up the Wild Samoans. But then when he said, it's like your grandfathers, if the High Chief was here, if your grandfather was here, they would be ashamed of you. And I also love just the callback of the long-term storytelling of, you say this is all family. Well, how's Jay doing these days?
mhm, mhm.
And then, like, and Cody's just saying what we already know. Like you don't really care about them, or at least not as much as you say that you do. They're just all here to make you look better. They're all here to
Mhm.
be your meal. You're the meal ticket. They're all here to make you look better. And I love the dig. I mean, I think Cody, when if we do, I feel like we will. We get more Cody and Rock segments. I think Cody's gonna be able to stand his own.
Bro, Cody surprised me pleasantly. Cody
Yeah,
knows how to get down when he has to, for sure.
right. Like the dig of what's this about? Being the head of the table? Why does it matter when neither of you have done the cooking for the past two
Yeah.
years?
Mhm.
That was a cool line. And then just Rock making the face while Cody's talking like, is this dude serious? Like, is he really stepping up to me? Is he stepping up to us?
Literally, literally.
And the fact that Rock was almost like the big brother to Roman, like he stepped in because
Hmm.
Roman was left stunned. Like after Cody brought up Jay, Roman tossed the mic. Rock just basically says, "You talk about his family, you talk about my family," and then the slap heard around the world.
Bro, Rock is like you said, bro. He can be loved 1 second and hated the next, and he's so good at doing it, bro. Like by the end of the segment, I despise Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Like I did not want to see him involved in WrestleMania at all, bro. At this point, I wanted to see Cody versus Rock more than I wanted to see Cody versus Roman. It was that crazy and that compelling. So,
In this moment, just like that, and you could tell Dwayne was happy that he got the reaction that he did from the fans. Rock
mhm,
became like you love to hate him. That's what he became. Because like you
mhm,
can't deny like if a heel is good, you can't deny how good a heel is, and that's what Rock became. And just I loved all the bodies rushing in. I just love like that's where like the UFC likeness came into play. Like
mhm,
everybody like people being separated, like they're cussing like it's the Attitude Era, all
mhm.
this and that. Very real quick, how do you feel about Seth coming to the aid of Cody?
I was like wondering like why was Seth even involved in this in the first place? Like, do they want to do like a tag match, like Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman? But like that wouldn't work because because Seth is hurt right now. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess we have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, I like again, I like the segment as a whole. It was Chef Kiss good, and it was cool to see Seth and Rock specifically yell at each other, like have that type of face off. And I mean it's Seth made good points saying that it's like you're never here. Both of you, you're never here. You can't just show up and
Mm-hmm.
do whatever you want to do. And then Rock is just being a bully, like, yes, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can. We're a part of the bloodline. I'm on the board now.
No,
I'm on the board of
literally.
directors. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah. I like how they're making that known. Like Rock is on the board now, so he can pull whatever strings he wants to, and he's gonna do that. Like I like that they're blurring the lines now. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like they are playing that into the storyline. Love that. Just loved it all as a whole. But and again, not trying to be nitpicky, but do you think it's a little weird that Rock has to like defend Roman when Roman's the champ? Like, doesn't that kind of show who the true head of the table is?
No, yeah, yeah. Like Roman got little broed, bro. Like, yeah, like he almost was like, Rock, help me because I don't know what to do. Yeah, that's what it felt like.
I think it's funny, and they're probably using this for their advantage, like to be kind of heelish. Rock's like, don't talk about our family, don't talk about our family. But it's okay when Roman brings up Dusty, when he brings up another man's father,
Mm-hmm.
which that's not a complaint. Like that shows that they're playing into like the heelish role
Yeah.
that like, don't talk about our family, but we can say whatever we want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What did you think of, Hunters being interviewed? And again, like
Bro,
Rock's leading the
that
way.
was yeah, that was crazy, bro. I saw that clip. I was like, yo, like this is crazy. Like this is giving like real vibes, bro. Like legit vibes. Like this was did not feel like it was part of the work, bro. Like and it made me think like, are they gonna have like? Of course, I didn't really think that, but they were like, are they gonna have Triple H put the boots back on? Like, why did they just get into that? Like, he's like, you're lucky I'm retired. He's like, yeah, you're like that's. I was like, bro, what? Like, it was great to see. And then notice how Rock kept walking, but Roman stayed back to talk to Triple H. So it's
Yeah,
like,
and
what did
there was
Rock?
this
I mean, what did Roman and Triple H even talk about? Like,
So it came out, I think Roman said to Hunter, he said, "You're lucky to be here." And then when Roman walked off, Triple H said, "So are you."
Okay.
Which if I'm understanding that correctly, I think Hunter is making the point of like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your family.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
people do be forgetting that Roman was going to take the football path. He played college
hmm
football at Georgia Tech and was going to try and get in the NFL.
hmm
Like
He
like
was
like
on the Vikings. He was on the Vikings, but they had to cut him because of the leukemia.
was that him or Brock Lesnar? Because I know Brock was on the Vikings briefly.
That was Roman was on some team. Hold on, let me search it up. Roman NFL.
But yeah, just all the cussing, like how Rock said about Cody is like, I'll slap his freaking teeth down his throat, like all that. Like this was the chef kiss moment. So now, and I mean, you kind of already said it. I mean, like, are they building up to a tag team match, Rock and Roman versus Seth and Cody?
Oh, the Jaguars. The Jaguars.
That makes sense. But since he's
He
from
signed
Florida,
with the Minnesota Vikings as undrafted free agent and also had an offseason stint with the Jaguars, but was out of professional football by 2008.
that makes
Yeah.
sense with him being from Florida. Um,
Yeah.
so but now here's some other big questions. Does a triple threat match really make sense at this point?
No, no. I don't want to see triple threat. I don't. I'm gonna be
So
honest.
yeah, so neither do I. But the one pro that I do see in it, and like again, I'm not trying to like doubt Dwayne, but it's just again, we've talked about ring rust. His last true match was back in 2013. 2016 against Aragon doesn't count. His last true match in 2013 looks in great shape, but it's going to come down to ring shape. I think a triple threat match would benefit Dwayne in that sense. Just like that, I think that would
I
like
see what you're
decrease
saying.
his, yeah, like it would decrease his chances of getting injured. And I could be perfectly wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to see Rock go out there and put on a great match because this could
hmm
possibly be his retirement match. I mean, because
hmm
this is like the only match he really has left to do. Maybe
hmm
Rock versus Cody. Again, we'll get into that. But I think a triple threat match would benefit him in that sense. And again, you look at the pattern of every 10 WrestleManias, although a triple threat match wasn't a thing yet. Yokozuna defended the title against Lex Luger and Bret Hart on the same night, defeated Lex, lost to Bret. WrestleMania
hmm
20, Chris Benoit, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan, Batista, Randy Orton. So, I mean, I do think that makes sense, but I mean, I'm with you. I don't really want to see a triple threat match. I think what's the right call, and you've already said this, and I was a fool for saying Rock and Roman should happen in Elimination Chamber. That wasn't going to happen. But I think your idea should happen. I think your idea should happen because everybody will win. Like everybody wins. Rock versus Roman night one of WrestleMania. Then Roman versus Cody night two WrestleMania. Roman beats Rock. I'm the head of the table. Loses to Cody the next night. Cody finishes the story.
hmm hmm
I really think that's the best case scenario. I think again, all parties will win. But I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
just we got to let it play out. I will say this though. I think this is their plan all along.
Nah, bro. It wasn't. I don't
You
think
don't think
so.
so?
They saw that it backfired, and now they're trying to make us think that it was their plan, but it wasn't their plan.
So
I
let
don't
me
think so.
I'll read this to you. I saw this posted on Bleacher Report. Someone screenshotted it and posted it in the community, and it said this. The Rock is 100% behind Cody Rhodes. Per WOR, it's been revealed through Raw overnight that The Rock is 100% behind Cody Rhodes and is strongly pushing the We Want Cody movement. Rock informed staff to hand out hundreds of signs of fans as they enter the building for WWE to acknowledge the movement. It's being said that Rock wants to make Cody bigger than the Bryan movement back in 2014 and believes WWE dropped the ball then and doesn't want to do that again. Brian Gerwitz was seen smiling a lot backstage and seems very happy with how things are turning out across social media. And Cody even tweeted out this past Monday on Raw. He said, "Trust me." He said, "Trust me" to the fans.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. I don't know. Maybe I don't think I don't. I think that it backfired and they had to do something because they knew everybody was mad. That's because like there's no way they would have went through that whole face off between the two. They wouldn't have even gave code like nah, bro. They wouldn't have done all that. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, if you are right, then they called a heck of an audible last night.
No,
I mean,
literally.
like they turned the backlash into like the best case scenario. Like
Mm-hmm.
they use that to their favor. I'm starting to think it was a part of their plan all along. I truly do, because again, they wouldn't have made Cody the face of 2K and made the WrestleMania story like the Road to WrestleMania game mode about Cody with everybody saying like my story this, my story that. And I don't know. I guess I would just like to think that Rock isn't that selfish. I mean, like I really would like to
Oh,
think.
brother, I think he is.
I mean, do I think he probably has a big ego? Sure. Look at everything he's accomplished in wrestling. Look at everything he's accomplished in Hollywood. He's one of the most wealthiest people on the planet.
Yeah, I would have a
But
big ego if I was The Rock, but like
but at the same time, like I think Dwayne does understand wrestling and he does understand the industry.
for
And
sure,
like,
for
you
sure.
like you said that Triple H wouldn't let Rock like not have Cody be a part of this. Well, Rock has more power than Hunter now being on the board, like
That's
in real life.
that's the reason why I said that. I think Rock came in because Rock has like his own writing team, bro. Like it's crazy. Like I think Rock came in, said this is what we're gonna do. It backfired. He was like, okay, now Triple H, let's do this. But I don't know. I don't know.
And part of that too is that I just don't really know what to believe anymore. Like I said, like you
Literally.
text, like no, like yeah, like you texted me and said that, and I saw this on Bleacher Report that said that apparently Rock even pitched him winning the title. I don't
Yeah,
believe that. I don't believe that at
bro.
all.
I do, bro. I do, bro.
Like
I
they're
do, bro. I think Rock is like, this is my last chance to climb the top of the wrestling mountain again. I want to do it before I retire. Cause bro, he
I
literally
don't
he's
believe it.
like second in line, bro, in WWE now. He's second in line. It's like Ari Emanuel, then it's him, bro. Like I think he can really do whatever he wanted to be honest, and we're just gonna have to like it.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it at that point at all. Like, because again, remember remember when that report came out that said that Triple H had no intention of main eventing WrestleMania with Cody? And then
Mm,
people were like saying like Hunter, please. Like it wasn't like we want Cody, but it was like Hunter, please, this and that. Apparently that was to throw everybody off before the Royal Rumble.
yeah,
So I mean, like I don't know what to believe anymore. But I think this is their plan all along, and I say that because of this is my next question for you. As wrestling fans, this is a question for you. This is a question for me. This is a question for all of us. Do we just need to start being more patient and let things play out instead of
for
jumping the
sure,
gun?
for sure. Cause it's wrestling scripted, bro. Like it's legit, but it's scripted. There's things that they have to do to get to each story. It's like watching a show on HBO and you're like, no, I wanted this to happen, but we haven't seen the next episode yet next week, so we don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? We just have Twitter where we can go and just invent and tweet at people and act like everything is going to be horrible, but in reality, it's going to be okay. Maybe this was part of their plan, and maybe they just wanted to have us wait it out, which is cool. They're trying to do what's best for business and get more money and more views and accumulate more traction. So we just got to chill, bro. Sometimes you just got to let it play out.
And that goes for all of us. And I mean, I was a part of that. I mean,
Oh, me too.
no, yeah, like I admit that like I argued with a couple people at Bleacher Report when I shouldn't have. If
Bro,
you're watching
literally.
this, I'm sorry. It's not that serious. Like we're all wrestling fans. We all love this. But like, and I said it last time we talked about this last week that best case scenario, they keep us guessing. Like that's what I said. I feel like I called it. Like they're still keeping us guessing, but in a good way now. Because
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, what are they going to do? And here's another question I have for you, Johnny. From the character standpoint, Rock and Roman Reigns, there's no way Rock is joining the bloodline with Jimmy and Solo. Rock
Hey,
is, I think, is too like I get it, family this, family that, but like, but Rock is too just big of a personality and like again, I'm not talking about Dwayne Johnson. I'm talking about The Rock. Too big of a character and personality, and dare I say the character egotistical to do what Roman wants. And then Roman's ego is going to come into play and be like, I've been champion for this long. All of your title reigns have probably combined have been the amount of times I've been champion. Like, I think someone's going to turn on somebody. I think Roman will turn on Rock maybe, or Rock will stay heel. But like, someone's going to turn on somebody.
bro, that's a story in itself, though. Them two trying to fight for power struggle in the bloodline, like that's another year and a half, 2 year story, bro. Like if they really wanted to go that route. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think they're really they did a good job with if there was a plan or if it just happened to happen. They did a good job. Cody can go on whatever, do whatever he wants to do, and now we have Rock and Roman fighting for the power in the bloodline. Because at the end, notice Rock and Roman they were on the same side. They were standing on the same side. Rock backed up, so it's like, did Rock align himself with the bloodline now? Is that what we're gonna see? Like, will we eventually see Rock versus Cody. If Roman can't get the job done, now Rock's like, you couldn't get the job done against Cody, so now I'm gonna have to try to get it done. And if I win, then I'm the tribal chief. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
and then I was gonna say that I've seen some people online said that main event of night one might be Rock versus Cody. Winner of that will face Roman on night two.
Yeah, bro.
But
I'm more inclined to see a Rock versus Cody match right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd be down for that. But just again, I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like again, like
Yeah.
I really do think perfect case scenario is Rock versus Roman night one because Rock was apparently pushing for this match, and
Mm-hmm.
then Roman versus Cody night two because they already announced that last night, of course. But Cody made a good point. What is this match about? And this is where I'm saying bringing up egos and stuff. There's no way this match is just going to be, oh, for funsies. It's a bloodline main event. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're fighting for the title. Egos are going to come into play.
No,
I've
that.
done this. No, I've done this. I've done this. I'm the head of the table. I'm the head of the table. Like egos are going to come into play. It's not going to be just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, I mean, like we've seen the bloodline storyline with Roman and the Usos and Solo. It's better when families fighting against each other. It
Yeah,
adds
for
more
sure.
drama.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. And it makes it more real. Like you feel
Right.
it more, you know?
Exactly. So I mean, would you be down to see Rock? So I mean, you just said it. So would you like to see Rock versus Cody night one and then Cody versus Roman night two?
Yeah. I want to see right now, bro. I want to see Cody versus Rock. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Just because of that segment they had, and I could see them making it even more personal as the weeks go on. Like, I'm down for sure.
I just feel like if they do that, they're gonna book themselves in a corner because then who wins? Because Cody wins, I feel like that devalues Rock to challenge Roman. But
I can
then
see.
Rock wins, yeah, like it devalues Cody for
Yeah,
his shots. I mean, like I feel like they booked themselves in a corner
I see what
if
you're
they
saying.
did
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, yeah. So like, and like I don't think it'll happen. Maybe Elimination Chamber at best. That's really the only possible place.
Mm-hmm.
They could prove me wrong and surprise me and do WrestleMania, but like I can't see them not doing either match at this point. I really do think Rock Roman night one, Rock Cody night two is like the best route to go. Because
Mm-hmm.
like Punk said, Rock versus Roman is box office. Roman versus Cody is box office too for Cody to finish the story. But obviously, Rock is just a bigger name. It's just a fact of the matter. It's not that Cody isn't big. It's just Rock's bigger just with his
Yeah,
history.
yeah. And
But
you
with
gotta
all that being
remember, like,
said, oh, good.
isn't Backlash in France?
Yeah.
Like, they could do Rock versus Cody in France. Like, that's big, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you got a couple other ones that are overseas, I think. So,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you
They're
got
going
SummerSlam.
overseas a lot this year.
So they have time to do what they need to do.
Yeah, and I've heard some people say that Cody I mean, now this isn't going to happen, of course, but Cody will face Seth, win the world title. Roman retains against Rock, and WrestleMania, Cody and Roman unify the titles, and Cody finishes the story that way. I'm like, well, that'd be pointless to unify. Like, if
Yeah,
it's becoming one championship, that's pointless. Now, if it's two world titles and Cody pulls double duty, that's another thing. But
mm-hmm.
I still think unifying them is kind of pointless when that's why you brought the world heavyweight title here in the first place.
Literally because it was only one belt, and obviously they tried to say that it was because Roman didn't defend, blah blah blah, but it was really because USA wanted a world champion on Raw. And I'm not gonna lie, like Raw was boring without a world champion. Like all we had was the United States champion. We were getting Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory for like months at a time, bro. Like it got to get better than this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess the last question I can think of before we wrap up, I mean, who faces Seth at WrestleMania now? I mean, because obviously Punk's been gone. I think we may have already talked about it last week with the Punk injury, but I guess after this segment, who faces Seth? Who do you want to face Seth?
I'm thinking we could do like a Seth Drew Sammy match, or a Drew Seth match, or a Sammy Seth match. But I honestly don't know where they're gonna go. I think it really depends on how these next few weeks play out, especially after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got to wait and see. My mind goes to these three ideas: Seth and Drew, which is a little repetitive at this would be a little repetitive at this point, but
Yeah.
on one hand, Drew is doing really good work as this tweener character right now, and as far
Mm-hmm.
as I know, Drew still hasn't signed a new contract,
Mm-hmm.
and it'd be cool to see Drew have a WrestleMania finally have his WrestleMania moment in front of the fans,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd hate like you can't lose a talent like Drew. That like that would suck.
Yeah, I
And
could
I
see
mean,
them.
quite
We're gonna say you good.
I was gonna say, quite frankly, I think Drew would be lowering himself if he went to AEW. Because where else is he gonna go? No disrespect to TNA, like I know they're kind of back on the rise right now, but and Drew's been there before, but like you're better than that, bro. Like you went to TNA and these other companies to reinvent yourself, just like Cody did. You know,
Yeah.
like so, like why else leave WWE? But at the same time, not to say that he'll pull an Ultimate Warrior or whatever, but I feel like he will leave if he doesn't get the world title because he
Yeah,
hasn't also been world champion since COVID.
I could see I could see Drew versus Seth. Drew goes over Seth, and then by the time Punk heals up, then we get that feud.
Yeah, because I mean, like they clearly want to do a Punk versus Drew feud down the line anyway. You know, they tease
Yeah.
that with Punk's injury. Um, I would be down to see Seth versus Gunther. I know you and I kept talking about that, before Punk came back. Like we felt like that was going to be the main event at night one at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
And there's two ideas I have for that. Gunther pulls double duty, defends the title, have him open WrestleMania. So basically, what Trick Williams just did for NXT Vengeance Day, have Gunther open WrestleMania defending the IC title, win or loss. I don't know. I think it's going to depend on who Gunther's facing, if he's going to win or drop the title. And then in the main event, challenge Seth for the world title. Or you do Seth versus Gunther title for title. You can do for the first time or I'm sorry, for the first time in years since WrestleMania 6, have the world title and IC title on the line when they did Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior in the Ultimate Challenge when winner was walking out with both belts.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can get down with that. And I'm biased because I love double champions. That's one of my favorite things in wrestling.
Mhm.
Um, but I think this is my prediction. Whoever Seth faces, he's gonna lose, and Seth's gonna take some time off. Bro's got to let his back heal.
Oh yeah, he's losing at WrestleMania. He has to. Like he just gotta. What, he's like 37, bro. He doesn't have realistically that much longer left. Maybe like 10 years at most. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So he needs to give his body a rest. But obviously he's Seth Rollins. He's not gonna want to stop. But he's probably gonna lose and then take some time off, and then he'll come back with a new character reinvented. You know.
Right. But we say it all the time, and we'll keep saying it on the road to WrestleMania. We shall see. At the time of this recording, SmackDown is tonight, so we'll see how the build of WrestleMania and the story keeps moving forward. But with all that being said, they cooked with this segment. It was chef's kiss. In the original script or not, great moment. I mean, like this is definitely rejuvenating the road to WrestleMania with all the injuries we've had recently. I don't have any more thoughts. Johnny, do you have any more thoughts?
I don't, man. We just gotta wait and see what happens for real.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the conference as much as we did. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Stay tuned for our throwback video of the very first ever Elimination Chamber match and then preview to Elimination Chamber. I'm CJ McClure. We appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for watching and thank God for wrestling.
Yes, sir. I'm Johnny King. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see y'all in the next one. Thank God for wrestling. Peace.